It's time for Access the Experts from the University of Nebraska at Omaha with your host, Brandon AKSAMIT.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Access the Experts on News Channel Nebraska, where every Tuesday and Thursday, University of Nebraska at Omaha faculty members answer today's questions facing our state. Now today we have the pleasure of hearing from Dr. Dana Richter-Egger, who is an assistant professor of chemistry at UNO. So Dana, today's question is, what will be the next big source of alternative energy?
Thanks, Brandon, for that question. I'm happy to talk to you today about what I think will be the next big source of alternative energy. First thing I would say is that rather than a singular next big source of alternative energy, I think probably the next big thing continues to move us in that direction of diversity, that some sources of alternative energy make more sense in some areas than other areas. I don't know all the reasons why, but I don't see cotton grown in Nebraska, for example. And some alternative energies are going to be the same way. They're going to make more sense here than somewhere else. That diversity is valuable because it makes the most sense in some areas. It's also valuable because it mitigates some of our risk in the same way that investing in the stock market, we would normally want to have a diversity of investments, or when we're planting crops, normally we'd want to have a diversity of what we're planting. We wouldn't plant a single hybrid or a single crop. All of these things have value. To the extent that there is a next big thing in alternative energy, I really think it's storage. So many of our alternative energy sources don't continuously produce electricity, and solar is a great example. It doesn't make any electricity at night when the sun's not shining. We need to have a way to store that energy, and of course batteries exist. Other mechanical means, other chemical means to store that energy exist, but we need to continue to work to develop them into a scale that's going to work kind of regionally and nationally, that allow us not only to move that energy from whatever the storage thing is to our house or our car, but also maybe to ship it across state lines or across international boundaries. Maybe we want to put it on a boat. How can we do this? And how can we do it in a way that's going to be the most effective? I know when I don't plug my phone in, eventually the battery dies. And it's not that the electricity evaporates, but that's the nature of a battery. It doesn't last forever. And so finding some other I think about chemical means to store that energy. Most recently, what I've read about is the opportunity to store it as ammonia. It's the same ammonia that we use as fertilizer and industrial processes. This is the known technology, known processes industrially, right? But the ammonia, unlike the battery in my phone, I can put it in the tank and I can come back to it 10 years from now, provided it's stored properly, and all of that energy will still be there. All energy is, the useful energy is trying to get downhill, just like the water from a dam wants to get downhill. And that's when it becomes useful. So we need to find a way that it can be stored in such a way to be useful later on. I hope that's helpful. Thanks again, Brandon, for the question.
Well, thank you, Dana, for sharing your expertise on the topic. For our viewers at home, we want you to interact with UNO's experts. So if you have a question that you want answered, go to newschannelnebraska.com and click on the Access the Experts link. I'm Brandon AKSAMIT. We'll see you next time.
Access the Experts, presented by the University of Nebraska at Omaha. If you have questions, submit them on our website. Then join us every Tuesday and Thursdays at 6:46 a.m. and p.m. while we answer your questions.